Hi guys, welcome back. It's time to review the Suzuki Gixxer. Well, to be precise, the Gixxer 250.
Perfect.
The Gixxer lineup from Suzuki is pretty good, and I think the one that will attract the masses is the regular 155cc variant, and the 250 variant is actually a step above that in every aspect. We'll start things with the design, and to be frank, this is a very well designed bike. There is good amount of aggression and sharpness to make it stand out. Like firstly, for instance, just take a look at the paint job. It's matte textured and you get to choose from two color options, and the one that's showcased here is the matte silver and black combo, but there is also a full black one which I feel will look more stealthy. Then from the front, you can see the sufficiently chunky radial tubeless tire measuring 110 mm, and on moving up, we are greeted by the striking and attractive LED headlight. This headlight is a very good one. I mean, it's not only because of the fact that it looks very sleek both in dim as well as bright setting, but it's also because it offers very long and wide field of view at night, and therefore riding even in pitch dark is safe. Then for the digital instrument console, it's not a very striking one, but instead it's a more of a compact panel which shows all the necessary stuff. And for interacting with the panel, you get two buttons flanked on either side which are of good quality. Now for the handlebar, it's a straight type which is set fairly close to the rider, and here the switch controls used are also standard. The left side houses the dim bar bright switch with a separate pass light switch, indicator toggle and horn, and on the right side you have the engine kill switch and the self start switch. And also the handlebar grip is a pretty comfortable one for long rides. Then moving our concentration to the fuel tank, it's a pretty massive one with ergonomic curve to tuck in your leg and to get a hold for maneuvering while riding. Well, I'll get into the ergonomics of the bike for riding later on, but Suzuki did design it well so that the rider does have great control. Now, even though the tank is wide enough, the tank capacity is slightly on the lower side at 12 liters. Then from the side, as you can see, the tank shroud used here have that sharpness and at the same time a very clean look because of minimal graphics. Then for the seats used, it's the split seat which is complemented with a split pillion grab rail. The seat used here for the rider has good surface area and even has good cushioning, and I didn't feel any discomfort even while riding for an extended period of time. And for the pillion seat, it is a comfortable one, but like all bikes in this segment, the pillion seat height is a bit high. But once the pillion is comfortably in there, the ride comfort is good, and also to get a hold, the grab rail is a nice section. Then from the rear, you get a very chunky rear tire measuring at 150 mm. Now that's pretty great, and you'll feel the goodness of it while cornering. And for the tail light, it's a compact LED one, but it does have that sleek aggression. Suzuki did cover all the necessary portions for the Gixxer 250, like they used a rear tire hugger and also a undercowl. And even the alloy wheels are nice looking with a brushed finish. Then finally for the muffler, it's a stubby twin muffler with a touch of chrome. And overall, I do like the design of the Gixxer 250. Well, it's mainly because Suzuki didn't clutter the bike with a lot of ornamentation and graphics, but instead they kept it simple yet very attractive. So design wise, Suzuki did it well and I pretty much like it. It's mainly because I do like naked style bikes a lot. And also about the quality of the materials used here, they feel of very good quality and I think it will age well. Well, now that the design and build quality of the bike is checked, let's check its engine and how it performs. The engine used here is a 249cc 4-stroke single-cylinder oil-cooled fuel injection engine. Now this engine is a pretty powerful one in its segment. The max torque and power generated is good, and when you take the Gixxer 250 for a spin, you can feel the power. The bike has great initial pull, which actually evens out at higher RPM, and that's noticeable in all gears. It's a joyful riding experience where you get a punchy start with abrupt and balanced speed gain. And that does make the Gixxer 250 an all-rounder in this segment. There is a lot of aggression, and at the same time, you can go for that casual ride without much need to lower gear all the time. And speaking about the gear, it's a 6-speed gearbox, which is also a good one. The gearbox didn't give me any problem and the shifts were throughout smooth. There wasn't any gear missing issues, and the gear shift ratio is, I would say, well laid out, where you can shift in a manner such that in top gear, you can cruise in the 80 to 90 mark with little to no stress on the engine. And surely this bike being a 250cc bike, many of you will be eager to know how the performance at higher speeds is, and as expected, it's great. Hitting 100 plus is simple and quick, and actually the ride quality is excellent in a speed range from 0 to 100 km/h mark. There was literally no vibration or any disturbance from any part in that speed range, and even actually further up it's the same story. I couldn't hit more than the 100 mark because of the road conditions, so the engine wasn't stressed at all during my testing. So overall for the ride quality and the performance of the engine, I really enjoyed it. And the enjoyment surely didn't end there because the bike is a very comfortable bike and now it's one of my favorite for ride comfort. The seating post is not very aggressively sport bike styled, but at the same time it's not very upright too. For me, the handlebar was close enough, so I didn't have to lean forward, and therefore it was a perfect seating posture. And also the gear lever is not far away, so my legs were not in a strained backward position. And because of this riding setup, the bike was a very easy one to control. It was like the handlebar responded precisely, and I could make quick flicks with the help of the tank structure and the overall design of the bike. Now, one hidden factor that actually helps in this is the weight of the bike, which is actually on the lighter side, especially for a bike in this segment. And also the comfort of the ride is actually much more enhanced because of the excellent suspension pair used here. The front is a telescopic suspension and the rear is a swing arm mono suspension. And the suspension wasn't set very stiff, but instead it was set basically in a good spot where you don't feel any stress or strain even when you take the bike for a bit of off-roading. And since the bike has good ground clearance of 165 mm, I never experienced any issues with the underside of the bike. And also if in case you're worried about the seat height, well, it's at 800 mm, but the seating felt a bit more on the lower side, and therefore I feel even if you're a rider with a height in the 165 cm or above mark, you should be fine. And for your reference, my height is 176 cm, and for me, my foot stayed planted pretty comfortably on the ground. Now, one thing a bike with this kind of performance should have is obviously good braking. And here, Suzuki did cover that portion really well by using dual channel ABS with front and rear disc. And the brake did respond well even while doing some quick brakes. And also because of the wider tires used, cornering and also gripping was excellent with this bike. Now please do note the road conditions where I tested all this was a pretty dry one, so in wet conditions, the control might be slightly different. And finally for the mileage, well, during our testing in city conditions, we got approximately 32 km per liter, which is actually not bad. So I guess that's all about the Gixxer 250. And now to the verdict. Well, before that, I would like to thank RJ Suzuki Kollam for providing me with the test ride unit. And if you're from Kollam, Kerala and you're interested in checking the Suzuki bike or scooter lineup, you can actually contact them in any of the numbers shown here. And now back to a verdict. Well, pretty much everything about this bike is done almost perfectly. And surely if you're looking to get a 250cc bike, I feel the Gixxer 250 is an excellent choice and it will surely be a great ride for you for a long time. But actually for that, the price is a bit on the higher side. Well, at the time of uploading the video, its ex-showroom pricing is 1,61,048 Indian rupees. Now, it can be considered as one of the main drawback of the bike, but for the price they're charging, they did cover some of the major aspects of the bike really well and even better than some of its competitors. And therefore, if you don't have issues with the pricing and you're like me a fan of naked style bikes, then this is one of the best 250cc naked style bike available as of now. That's up for the video, guys. Hope you liked it. If so, please do hit the like button and also please do subscribe so that you won't miss any of our future contents. See you again in the next one. Till then, bye and always ride safe.